Girl, you're looking good.
Thanks.
Look, I meant to call you. I really did, but,
You've been ducking me.
Oh, come on.
You've been ducking me.
Okay, have it your way. No, I don't mean that either. Well, how's your dad?
You're too much.
What's the matter? I said it in a nice way, didn't I?
You've changed. You're not Lou Miles. You're somebody else. The Lou Miles I knew was straight with me. Told me everything. Waited for me after school to unload the whole world on me.
Look, do you know how hard it is to hit the books after leaving New York?
I'll bet it's rough.
Look, I'm late for work. I gotta go.
Then why were you just standing here? Just standing here killing time.
Joanne, I'll call you, okay?
Harry,
Tom?
I want to talk to you. I wanted to ask you about Miss Newton. You said she was very sick.
Oh, yes, she was.
Well, the other night you asked me to go see her. Do you still think it'd help?
No, I'm afraid not, Tom. She died the next morning.
Was anyone with her?
I persuaded Reverend Harris to come over from White River. Turned out they weren't the same denomination. Poor old lady, she never thought she'd go like that. Strange minister and a doctor she never felt at home with, no matter how much she tried. I tried.
Good morning, Tom. Is something wrong?
Miss Newton, I just heard.
Oh, yeah. I'll miss her. Pretty soon there won't be any left of us old-timers.
Was she a friend of yours?
Liza Newton didn't make friends easily. She lived alone, never married. As a matter of fact, Liza was a very difficult woman, but I liked her.
Did you know that when she was dying, she asked for me?
Well, you must have been a great comfort to her.
I didn't go. Dr. Miles asked me to, but I didn't go to her.
Why not?
He told me she was dying. It didn't seem to matter. I didn't care. I couldn't feel anything.
Maybe she wouldn't have known. Maybe your just being there would have been enough. Someone she cared for.
I should have gone to her, been with her. She must have felt so alone.
I expect she did. Look here, Tom, you got to promise me. When it comes my turn, you show up.
When I schedule an x-ray, Miss Choate, I expect that schedule to be met, and if it can't be, I expect to be notified.
I didn't know about it myself.
Now, I was told my patient was lying on a stretcher in the corridor, unattended for half an hour.
There's no excuse for it.
Exactly, Miss Choate.
Harry, you're just the man I want to see. You got a minute? Here, Miss Joe, would you file these for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Well timed.
Harry, there's some days when everyone feels that way. Of course, with me, I always thought it was my hot Italian temper. I respect your control. And I've always said a little control can go a long way. Huh? What'd you do, have a spat with Alma this morning, or one of the patients give you a rough time? Or was it Lou? I kind of figured that it was. What did you talk back to you at breakfast this morning? I know how you feel.
Do you?
Well, I mean, I know how a kid can get to you sometimes. I mean, my brother Joe,
You're not Joe's father, Mike. You any idea what it's like to know your son wants to blow his whole life, his whole future, just like that? He doesn't want to be a doctor anymore. Changed his mind.
Well, you have some kind of an argument or something? Sometimes kids just sound off.
Ah, he didn't come right out and say it. He didn't have to. I know Lou.
I think I do know how you feel, Harry.
He lied to us, Mike. He let us think he'd audited those classes. Couldn't bring himself to say he never attended them more than a couple of times, and that he's found something more important to do, something more worthwhile.
More worthwhile.
He thinks he's finding himself, learning who and what he is in the world, as though we'd never talked about it. The way he carries on sometimes, you think Alma and I didn't know cockroaches existed.
Well, he didn't. I mean, he didn't know it firsthand. Maybe he's just overreacting or something.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Years ago, Mike, we didn't even call it a ghetto. It was so rotten we couldn't find a name for it. Just born there.
But you got out.
Yeah. Yeah, I got out. That's not important anymore.
Wait a minute. What do you mean it's not important anymore? To get out?
Mike, like everybody else, I guess, I wanted things to be a little better for my kids. Just a crazy dream, I guess, but Lou was going to be me. Born again, clean, no hang-ups.
Well, what's wrong with that? Well, look, he's just a kid. He'll change his mind today, tomorrow, the next day. Pretty soon he'll come around to your way of thinking.
He doesn't have to.
What do you mean?
He doesn't have to do things my way, Mike. He's got a mind of his own. I want him to use it. Be his own man. To prepare himself for a...
For what? The future.
Yeah. His future, Mike. His future.
Come in. Just fixing myself a drink.
I was on my way to the hospital, so I'll make it brief. Now, last night, you asked Rod if he felt the funeral arrangements were his prerogative.
And you've decided that they were.
Well, I've had time to think.
Oh.
You were right. It would be impossible for Rod to take care of all this by phone. But there's no reason why I can't do it for him.
Well, there's no reason why you should have to. Both Rod and Norman agreed it would be best if I take care of everything.
Only because you insisted.
Still his oldest grandson.
Technically.
You sure you won't join me?
Stephen, I really think you are being quite presumptuous.
Do you?
I am serious. Now, you have no right to act for the family.
Oh, I predicted it wouldn't take you too long before you made yourself comfortable on the old man's throne. Your Majesty.
Stop it with this nonsense.
Is that a royal command or a request?
I really don't know why I'm wasting my time arguing with you.
Guess you're afraid I won't step aside and let you take over? And you still haven't convinced me that I should.
You really don't have a choice. I've already informed Mr. Peyton's lawyers I'll be flying to Boston. I'll accompany the body back home for the funeral, and they'll take care of all the necessary arrangements.
Wow. You move fast.
I felt it was my duty as Rod's wife.
As Rod's wife or as the old man's heiress?
Both, if you prefer it. I'm both. And I intend to remain both.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
You know, you can go too far with this thing. You can pound it in the ground till doomsday. How long are you going to let Carolyn stand in between us?
I'm not just throwing myself at anyone. You're handpicked. I want you.
I want to know exactly what kind of a relationship you have with Jen.
What do you mean by that?
Answer me.